Hey, future doctors, welcome back to our channel where medicine meets animation. If you're new here, subscribe so you never miss an epic medical drop. Today, we're diving deep into a rare genetic condition that affects the connective tissues of the body, including those vital parts of the heart, the aorta, and its valves. You'll be nodding along in no time. And hey, stick around to the end. We have a special announcement that you won't want to miss. Ready? Let's dive in. Imagine a rubber band. Stretch it a bit and it returns to its original shape, but stretch it too far and it loses its elasticity forever. What if your body's strongest blood vessel acted like that rubber band that was stretched just a little too far? That's the reality for many dealing with Marfan Syndrome, a rare genetic disorder that silently compromises the structural integrity of the walls of the aorta, the main artery leaving the heart, causing it to balloon out and bulge, a condition known as aortic root dilation. As the aorta stretches, it pulls on the aortic valve, preventing it from closing tightly. This leakage of blood back into the heart triggers a domino effect of complications, forcing the heart to pump harder and putting immense strain on its walls. And when it comes to fixing it, the options are as tricky as the syndrome itself. From medications to surgeries, each has its own set of challenges. It's a balancing act between effectiveness and potential side effects. So join me today as we explore the intricate world of Marfan Syndrome. But first, what exactly is Marfan Syndrome? Simply put, it's a genetic disorder that affects the body's connective tissues. To understand this better, let's look at the cells that make these tissues, the fibroblasts. They produce a protein called fibrillin-1, which forms a strong but flexible scaffolding, providing strength and elasticity to tissues like the aorta, eyes, heart valves, and even the skeleton. In individuals with Marfan syndrome, there's a mutation in the gene responsible for producing this protein, FBN1. Due to this mutation, the body either produces less fibrillin-1 or the protein is not as strong as it should be. This deficiency in strong connective tissues affects various parts of the body, but today we're focusing on its impact on the heart and the aorta. Marfan syndrome follows an autosomal dominant inheritance pattern. This means that a person only needs one copy of the mutated gene from one parent to develop the condition. Even though I won't go into details about other manifestations of Marfan syndrome in this episode, you can check out my previous episode called Connective Tissue Disorders, which covers a variety of these conditions, including Marfan syndrome. Now, let's zoom in on the heart and the aorta. The aortic root is the beginning part of the aorta, just above the aortic valve, where it connects to the left ventricle, the heart's main pumping chamber. In a healthy individual, the aortic root is a smooth, elastic structure that expands and recoils as the heart beats, helping to propel blood into the bloodstream. But when it comes to Marfan syndrome, the story is different. The aortic root can become abnormally enlarged, a condition known as anaortic ectasia. Imagine the aortic root as a ring that holds the three leaflets of the aortic valve in place. When the aortic root stretches due to Marfan syndrome, it disrupts the normal function of the aortic valve. As a result, the valve leaflets don't close tightly, allowing blood to leak backwards into the left ventricle. This phenomenon is called aortic regurgitation, or AR. Normally, the aortic valve acts as a one-way street, opening to let blood flow out of the ventricle, and then closing tightly to prevent any back. But with Marfan syndrome, the valve is constantly fighting an uphill battle against the leaking blood. Picture a leaky faucet. At first, it might seem like a minor annoyance, but over time, it becomes a bigger problem. Similarly, early aortic regurgitation due to Marfan syndrome might not cause noticeable symptoms, but it sets off a chain reaction within the heart. As blood leaks back into the ventricle, it increases the volume of blood within the chamber. This leads to what we call volume overload. Over time, this extra volume puts pressure on the heart's walls, forcing them to work harder to pump blood effectively. In response, the left ventricle starts to thicken and enlarge, a process known as compensatory hypertrophy. Initially, this might help maintain blood flow, but it also widens the pulse pressure, the difference between the systolic and diastolic blood pressure. Eventually, the heart's ability to compensate is overwhelmed, leading to heart failure. In addition to these physiological changes, there's another important aspect to consider. Marfan syndrome affects the integrity of the heart's connective tissues, making it more susceptible to tears or ruptures. A simple cough or even a sudden change in blood pressure can trigger a dissection, a potentially life-threatening tear in the inner layer of the aorta. Now, let's talk about a key clinical sign associated with aortic root dilation, Lincoln sign. This refers to the observation that the tip of the sternum or breastbone can be pushed aside, revealing the bulging of the aorta behind it. Interestingly, this condition was first described in Abraham Lincoln, the 16th U.S. president who had Marfan Syndrome, though it wasn't known at the time. To monitor the progression of aortic root dilation in individuals at risk, doctors use echocardiography. This non-invasive test uses sound waves to create images of the heart and blood vessels. Specifically, they look at two measurements. The first is the aortic root diameter, typically measured in centimeters. The second is the aortic ratio, calculated by dividing the maximum aortic diameter by the diameter of the left ventricle. These measurements help clinicians track changes in aortic size and assess the risk of complications. According to the Ghent criteria, an aortic ratio greater than or equal to 1.3 suggests a high likelihood of complications. Additionally, an annual increase of 5% or more in the aortic root size is considered a significant finding. Research indicates that a combination of these criteria can help identify patients at higher risk of complications such as dissection, even if their aortic root diameter falls within the normal range. Now that we've covered the basics, let's talk about the risks involved. While early aortic regurgitation may be silent, it can lead to serious complications down the line. Regular monitoring of the aortic root size and the severity of regurgitation is crucial. Once the aortic root stretches beyond a certain point, it doesn't return to its original size. Plus, as the valve struggles to close properly, blood can leak back into the heart. This backflow overwhelms the heart, forcing it to work harder. Over time, it might weaken the heart muscle, leading to heart failure. And let's not forget about the risk of dissection, a potential life-threatening tear in the aorta. It's like a crack in a faulty pipe that could burst at any moment. It's important to know that even if you don't have any symptoms, the condition can still silently worsen, underlining the need for regular checkups. Let's shift gears now and talk about treatment. Medical management often involves medications like beta blockers, angiotensin receptor blockers, ARBs, and angiotensin-converting enzyme inhibitors, ACE inhibitors. These medications can help manage symptoms, slow the progression of aortic root dilation, and reduce the severity of aortic regurgitation. Beta blockers slow the heart rate, reducing the workload on the heart and potentially slowing the rate of dilation. ARBs and ACE inhibitors manage blood pressure and reduce the strain on the heart and aorta. These medications can be used in children as well, although the choice and dosage must be carefully considered to ensure safety. Surgical interventions aim to replace the damaged aortic valve and repair or replace the dilated aortic root. One common procedure is the Bentall procedure, which involves replacing both the aortic root and valve with a graft, a tube-like structure made from either a synthetic material or a donated human tissue. Another approach is the valve-sparing aortic root replacement, which preserves the patient's native aortic valve while replacing the aneurysmal root. This reduces the risk of complications associated with the new valve, such as the need for lifelong anticoagulation. However, it's essential to consider the complexity of these surgeries and the need for cardiopulmonary bypass, a technique that temporarily takes over the functions of the heart and lungs during surgery. A cutting-edge advancement in treating aortic root dilation is the use of a novel mesh-based external wrap called the Personal External Aortic Root Support, or PEARS. This non-surgical approach aims to reinforce the weakened aorta without the need for invasive surgery. Unlike traditional treatments that focus on either medication or surgery, this method offers a unique way to manage the condition. By reinforcing the aorta externally, the PEARS device helps maintain its structural integrity, reducing the risk of complications like aortic aneurysm rupture or dissection. This approach holds promise for patients who might not be suitable candidates for surgery due to factors such as their overall health or the extent of their condition. The benefits extend beyond just the aorta. By stabilizing the aortic root, the PEARS device can also prevent or reduce aortic regurgitation, allowing the heart to function more efficiently. This innovative treatment aligns well with the growing field of minimally invasive cardiology, offering a less traumatic and potentially faster recovery time for patients. Now let's meet some real patients and see how these techniques unfold in practice. Including a patient story or a case study can really bring the complexities of managing Marfan syndrome to life. It allows us to see how the theoretical knowledge we've discussed actually plays out in real-world scenarios. For instance, you could discuss a case where a patient with Marfan syndrome presents with symptoms of aortic root dilation and AR. The case study could walk you through the diagnostic process, highlighting the role of echocardiography and other tests in assessing the severity of the condition. It would also cover the decision-making process involved in choosing the best treatment option, whether it's medical management, a surgical approach like the Bentall procedure, or the newer external aortic root support. By following a patient's journey, we can see how these complex medical concepts come together in a practical and ethical manner. It really gives us a deeper appreciation for the challenges and nuances involved in treating these conditions. As we conclude this deep dive into Marfan's heart story, remember that small steps like spreading awareness can make a big difference. Early detection is key to managing this condition. If you found this deep dive illuminating, hit like and subscribe so you never miss an epic medical drop. And tell us in the comments what surprised you most about Marfan syndrome. If you want to dive deeper into the world of medical topics or test your knowledge, check out our medical questions and explanations or try our medical quiz. Thanks for watching and stay curious.